Special level 2 member request here. Thank you very much for that. This song here, I'm going to be using this hybrid D flat tuning that I use quite a lot for a lot of stuff that's in, that drop D flat, C sharp tuning. Just makes it a lot simpler for everyone to jump in, more accessible instead of having to, drop every single string like a half step and then even further with the top. We just drop the low string, the E, drop that to D flat, C sharp, and keep everything else the same, the A, D, G, B, E under it. All right, so makes for pretty useful shapes here. And with this song, it's pretty crucial we have this open D flat note because there's a lot of interplay between, open to high stuff and then back off, so it's real crucial to have that. But we'll start here with just kind of the main intro verse riff here. And it kind of swells in from just a big D flat power chord. So you could just hit the open low D flat, the 4A, 6 on the D and G here. You can hit that with the volume off, hit it and then just kind of swell the volume on. Whatever you want to do there. Skip it entirely, whatever. But once the main riff comes in, we'll do this, where we'll hit the open low D flat and then the 4 on the A for the octave. And this real kind of almost chromatic feel here where we'll hit that, then we go to the E flat power chord, so 2 on the low D flat and then 1s on the A and D. That's our power chord shape with this tuning. It kind of looks like we're making a G chord or something, Okay, hit that, bump it up 1 fret. All right, for the E power chord, the 3 with the 2s. And then we just want to hit some harmonics. I like to, use the 4th fret for this because they come out really nice at that spot. And, if you want, you can just stay where you were and just make some that type of deal. But like I said, I like to just hit the 4th fret. They seem to pop out a little better right there. So, and it's just that 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, and that whole bit just cycles 3 times. And at the end of that 4th time, instead of doing harmonics, we just take it up to the 5th fret power chord. So 5 on the D flat there with the 4, A and D. It's F sharp power chord here, and it's just 4 strums on that. Okay, and that whole bit will just, cycle itself, the 3 with the harmonics, and then the 1 at the end that goes to the 5th fret. All right, so that's the intro verse riff there. Then we get this pre-verse chorus riff, and there's 2 guitars in this song. For the most part, they'll kind of stick together, but there's one guitar that'll kind of intersplice these kind of higher octave notes. But the first guitar here, like I said, we're making use of this open D flat tuning here because we're doing a lot of high to open stuff. So we do open D flat once more, hit the 12, give it a little bit of vibrato there. 1, 2, 3. Once more, 12, open, 9, open. Then to 10, stay there with a little vibrato. Alright, kind of start it the same way, the open, open, 12, few opens, open, 12, open, and instead of going 9, 10, we just go right to 10 and give it a little bend. Something like that. And that whole thing will repeat for that first guitar. The second guitar in this, first pre-verse section here, it'll do an open, and then it'll hit octaves on the A and G here, where we do 11A, 13G. And if you incidentally just hit that open with these as well, it's not a big deal. But then we hit it once more again, open, take that 11, 13 up to 13, 15, hit it back down to 11, 13, hit that again. Okay, open, 11, 13. And then we hit the open, 11, 13, down to 8 and 10, hit the 8 and 10 again. Okay, so that's kind of like that second guitar layer over the top of that. We would go back into the verse riff again, do the pre-verse riff again, which now would be like the pre-chorus. But once we get to the chorus, we just drop down here and we do some B sus2, so 2A, 4 on the D and G with the 2 on the B under it. And with this, it's like 1, 2, 3, 1, 1, 2, 1, 2. Alright, and now we're going to do this bit where we're going back to a lot of those A and G octave shapes with the open D flat over the top of it. Here, we'll do it the open with the 9 and 11 on the A and G. Kind of hit it, little hesitation, 1, 2, 3, 1. And then just down a fret to the 8 and 10 once, a couple times. So, something like that, okay? And now we're basically going to do like the beginning sections, switch the endings, and then just kind of vary that throughout. So the second time through, do the same B sus2, do the open with the 9 and 11s. But here, instead of going to 8 and 10, we take it up to 11 and 13, hit it a couple times. Okay, start it over, the B sus2s. Just do it all the way through like we did the first time, the 9 and 11s to 8 and 10s. Alright, but here, after we do that, we just take it down to 4 and 6 on the A and G. So. That's the little extra thing on the third time through. And then the final run through, it's basically everything we did the second time through. Alright, the B sus2s to the open 9 and 11s, and then zoom it up to the 11 and 13. Okay, so it's just these interchanging of different endings, but like the beginning sections of each run through more or less stay the same. Alright, and after the chorus, we would cycle through a lot of the parts we've seen before. Eventually we get to the bridge, and it's just a real subtle kind of more like a dynamic reduction and like a variation of what we've seen with the chorus. It's the same kind of sus2 B stuff. But like I said, you just hang back a little bit. And then we do this bit here where we'll do like a big D flat power chord. So the open D flat, 4, A, 6 on the D and G, just kind of hit it. And then kind of cut it. And then just come up to the 9 and 11 on the A and G, 1, 2, 3. And then right back to the D flat power chord there. Right. And then a little walk up with the octaves, the 8 and 10 to 9 and 11 to 11, 13. Okay. Alright. And it just goes through that a handful of times. There's a little interlude section, and with this you want to dump on some like pretty heavy like phaser effect if you want to try to like match it as much as possible. But we're just doing really high octaves now. It's the open low D flat, and then we'll do a 16 and 18 on the A and G. Give a little vibrato there. 1, 2, 3, 4 on the open. Alright, and then we kind of do a similar refrain we've heard before, where we do the 16, 18, 13, 15 to 14, 16 with a open in between them. So. Alright, start it over, the open, 16 and 18. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then there's this quick descending hammer-on pull-off bit here, all on A string, where we do 14th fret, we go 14, 16, 14, hammer-on pull-off. Slide it down to 11, do 11, 13, 11 pull-off. Slide it down to 9, and then just slide right back to 11. So. Right. And other than that, a lot of parts we've seen before, but the ending has a little bit of a dynamic difference that happens, where we just do really big D flat palm muted power chords. So the open D flat, 4 and 6 on the A and D there. You can throw in that 6 and the G if you want, no big deal. It's just 1, 2, 3, 4, just palm muted. Zoom up to the 12, D flat here, vibrato. Back to the 4 palm muted power chords. And then we go 12, open, 9, open, 10. And just repeat that whole thing twice. All right, you're all set.